Hello YouTube, Tim Erickson here. I'm going to do something a little bit different this video. Instead of talking about any trades that we made, I'm going to give a quick overall update on the challenge so far, as we now have passed our 2-month mark in our challenge. You'll see here I have my 3-month chart up here on Robinhood, but from here you can tell I started buying stocks on March 18th, and then my first options trades were March 19th. So that's when the challenge really began. It is currently May 23rd. So we are just over 2 months into the challenge. Currently up over 40%. So doing very well. Honestly, I couldn't be happier with where we're at right now. I definitely knew returns like this were possible, and as you'll remember from my intro video, I showed a screenshot where in a previous account I had achieved 63% gains in 3 months on Robinhood. So here we're 2 months, we're at 40%. We're pretty close to in line with that kind of return, which I honestly wasn't even expecting. I was expecting to do well, but we're even exceeding my expectations here as being able to really duplicate that kind of success. So hopefully this video serves as validation to anybody who may have thought that initial video or post of mine was just some kind of clickbait or whatnot, but really, as you see here, as I've been documenting this challenge the whole way, this is something that's definitely attainable for even the average investors. Now I know not everybody has $10,000 to start with like I did, but even if you start smaller with $1,000, $2,000, whatever you can, and just I would encourage you to try and save a little bit of money every paycheck to continue investing and just watch how quickly it grows. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. But for me, again, this video is going to serve as a quick update to the challenge so far. You'll see here over the last 2 months and a couple days, up 40.42%, just over $14,000. The last month's gains of that is $21.81, which equates to an 18.42% return over that time. Now, again, even though this is more than half of the total gains, right, our total gain is just over 4,000, it's less than 20% because it was starting from a higher starting point, right? This is starting from a value of 11,886 a month ago to get up to the $14,028 of today. So I think my 1 month update video, I think I showed a little over 14% return, 14.75 or something like that. So month 2, we've actually even increased our return percentage so far. There was a pretty big drop here for a couple of days, as you guys can see on the chart, where we peaked at 13,300 and fell all the way back down to 12,300. So $1,000 drop from the top to bottom there, but we have managed to recover and keep going. We did only have one realized loss on an option trade, and it wasn't for very much. It was for $134 or so. And all of our stock purchases continue to do well, and most of the options do continue to either expire worthless or we close them early for pennies. And one example of that, and I actually think I forgot to mention this in my update video, so I'll go ahead and show it here, but I opened these contracts on Bristol Myers. I closed them, sorry, I didn't open them, I closed them for 4 cents per unit, which is $4 per contract, so I had 2 of them. So it cost me $8 to close them. If I were to scroll up, you'll see here I actually received $53 per contract when I opened them. So I received $106 because I did 2 contracts, and I only paid $8 to close them. Do some quick math. 106 minus 8 means I profited $98 on this transaction. Now that required me to hold $500 collateral, right? $250 for each contract for a little bit of time. Looks like I opened them on April 30th, so actually not even that long ago. Wow, that was a very good trade. April 30th to the date we closed them on was May 21st. So only 3 weeks basically we held that position, and we made $98 profit on $500 collateral, which is just under 20% profit in 3 weeks. So great trade, very happy with that. very happy that we could then reuse that collateral for something else. So when you can make 20% in 3 weeks, it's not hard to see how over time we're going to be able to make these really phenomenal returns. Now, not every trade makes 20% in 3 weeks, right? Some of them make a little lower percentage, some of them take longer, some of them we might lose money on. We did have our first losing trade last week, but you can see why it really is possible to have this strong, consistent upward ramp in terms of our portfolio value as these contracts continue to expire and whatnot. Now, we did have this dip along the way. It doesn't mean it's going to be smooth sailing all the way. And if there were ever insane market correction like there was in March of 2020 with the coronavirus pandemic, we could we could see much bigger dips than this, and maybe even be put in a difficult position with our portfolio because we are using margin as the collateral. But those events are so rare that they're that big of a correction. This one was basically a week. It might have even been less than a full week. It might have been more like 3.5 or 4 days or something. But we saw that dip. Even if they persist longer for a month, as long as our options stay out of the money and don't get assigned, then there's still that chance that they recover and expire worthless. So even if it shows a loss in our portfolio in the short term, unless our options start to become either in the money or very close to it, not something I'm going to sweat too much. I was opening new Viacom positions when it was trading down at near $38 here at 36 and 35 strike prices. Obviously, it has run up to the low 40s since then, but overall, just wanted to point out how well the challenge is going. And to give some context, too, that I think will really demonstrate the strength of my strategy here is I wanted to show you guys what's been going on in the overall market over the same time period and just for comparison's sake, I'm going to focus on the 1 month period where I'm up 18.42% in 1 month. So let's consider that number, right? If I come into my Yahoo Finance here, and I'm going to actually here, I'm looking at S&P 500, right? It has the futures up because it's showing, some aftermarket trading as the market is closed right now. But I want to come in here and look at the chart. So if I come back to, again, today's Sunday, the market hasn't been open. So the market last closed on May 21st. If I come back here to April 21st, it had a close price of 41.27 on that day and 41.51 here. So if you do the math, that equates to over that 1 month time period, the S&P 500 being up only around half a percentage point, right? So it wasn't down, and it was down from its peak. It did peak a little bit higher, but overall it was up around a half a percentage point. Maybe if I click on here, it'll even tell me. I don't know. I'm a little bit new to the tools here on Yahoo Finance, but regardless, I did the math myself because I'm not familiar with their platform, but just want to show you the chart and the prices and say up a little over 0.5% in a month. Now if we go back and look at the Dow, which is another index that some people use to kind of track the overall market, and look at the Dow closing April 21st, closed at 33,709, and on May it closed at 34,153. So doing that math, the Dow was up 1.3% over that last month. So Dow up 1.3%, S&P up about 0.5%. My portfolio up 18.42%. So not only did I beat the broader market over that time frame, I crushed it. It wasn't even close. It wasn't a fair fight, and so I really hope that that can serve as an example to you guys how the trading doesn't just have to be for professionals and for people on Wall Street or whatever. If you put in the time to do some research yourself, and if you're familiar with the different trading tools, you can beat the market also. So now, again, I want to re-emphasize, as I do have a disclaimer in the description of all my videos, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not recommending which stocks you guys buy and which options you guys trade. I'm simply trying to show you the mechanics and the strategy of how you can do this for yourself. Now, I have researched the stocks that I've used, and that's why I'm comfortable, showing you guys what I'm invested in. But I do hope that before any of you were to try and mimic or copy this, you would do your own research and make sure you are comfortable enough with the risks involved, and so forth. So just have to get that disclaimer out there. I do want you guys to do your own research so you are comfortable enough with everything before you make any trades. But I just want to emphasize the power of my strategy, which again is I invest in dividend growth stocks that I think are well established enough that they pay their shareholders, so they pay us dividends, and also still have good growth potential. And then I also trade options. I've been doing mostly put credit spreads. I have done a couple call credit spreads, mostly on SPY and whatnot, but using that option spread strategy, I generate additional income, which I use to buy more shares. And I am using the value of my portfolio as the collateral for those options. So normally you would need the cash to cover your options. Because I'm investing my cash, Robinhood, as my broker, sees my account with all these stocks. They say, that's a decent account balance. They'd be willing to lend me $8,500 if I were to need it. So I use that money, or that potential money, as the collateral. So if I were to be assigned and take a max loss on a contract, Robinhood, since I don't carry the cash to cover it, Robinhood would lend me that cash. And they're willing to do that because I have this portfolio of stocks. So I'm essentially leveraging the value of my portfolio to be able to increase my returns by trading options, and more specifically selling option premium, right? And what that means is I'm the one being paid a premium. I'm receiving money when the contract is opened, and my hope is that they will expire worthless, and or get close enough to worthless that I can pay to close them early before their expiration date to lock up most of my profit. So that's the strategy in a nutshell. There are other videos on the channel that describe it in more detail, so if you are enjoying it, please consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel. As you see, again, we are up 40% in 2 months, so I think the proof is in the pudding here. I think it's one thing for people to talk a big game, it's another for people to show it. I'm very happy to have been able to demonstrate to you guys just how powerful this strategy is here over the last 2 months, and I look forward to continuing to do so. So please leave a comment below. Let me know how you guys have been doing, if you've been trying to trade these options yourself. What successes or failures have you had? Any questions that you had that have come up along the way? More than happy to check those out and respond. But please consider liking, sharing the channel, and I look forward to hearing how you guys are doing in your progress as well. So again, this is Tim Erickson. This is my Robinhood Challenge, up 40% in 2 months, and can't wait to follow up with you guys in another month and see how far we've gone. Thanks.